Hello and welcome. This is Alchemistexe, and this is the weekly update for March 4th. Not a lot this week aside from Genesis, which is a new chapter, new character, new memento, and the box event that accompanies that. So it is the usual normal quest, hard quest, EX quest with normal boss, hard boss, EX boss, where you can get a bunch of items, including gems, as rewards that you just have to unlock it through doing the different quests, and then you can get to the boss. I've only just started on it, but it's the same thing every time. Even if you're not super into Genesis, I always recommend doing it just because of all of the prizes that you can get along the way. And so the new unit is Daphne, and I wanted to point out she is the special enlightenment type of unit. So if you are going for her, you pull her, and you want to get her all set up, you are going to need to get the tokens for like Envy and Sloth, that kind of thing, from the box event. That's the only way you can enlighten her, like Emil, Nyx, Inaku, etc. It's that type of character as opposed to the normal enlightenment ones. That also means her shards are going to be a nightmare to get, and they won't be appearing in the shop, but I'll touch more on acquisition strategy once I start doing the banners. So that is the main thing for the week. In addition, there's also 2 new levels they added for Phantom of the Kill, but there's not much to really say about them, other than if you need otherworldly enlightenment materials like sins and bubbles and retributions, this is a fairly easy way to get them. They're very slightly gimmicky, but I took them out on the first try without much consideration to strategy, so I definitely recommend doing them at least once though, and probably more because of milestones. Another thing I want to point out is that the global soul shards are in effect right for this week. So you have to own the unit to do it. So the Go 801 is out for me. And then everyone after Zheng Yi, you can use event skip tickets to do them, whereas Zheng Yi and all the ones before him require Magna Historia skip tickets, which are much more rare. It's a weird distinction, but I don't know, I like to use the skip tickets when I can because the event ones are very plentiful. But luckily, you could auto these quests really fast, and so it's not a huge deal, but getting global shards when you can is always nice. But yeah, other than that is about it for the content. It's just, farming the box event is where a lot of the time is going to go, especially if the boss is difficult to auto. I will learn more about that later. So with that, let's move on to the banner review. Okay, so for the banners, the first thing that we've got is a free summon where Genesis units are in the pool and you're guaranteed a 5-star unit, although most people won't get anything good. Never say no to a free summon. In fact, let's do it right now. Because I'm not going to do any other summoning besides this, so there's no reason to have it be its own section independent. Alright, we got 2 reds. Never gotten a good result from one of these, but it looks like we're continuing in that trend. Well, apparently Margaret just got a job plus in Japan, so might want to keep an eye out for that unit, but for the time being, she's definitely not too great. Also, not my favorite design. And the other red is going to be Credo. I think I'm already pretty good on him. He's a surprisingly good unit, though. He's saved the day on quite a few occasions for me. Okay, now onto the review proper. So, because Daphne is the special enlightenment type of Genesis unit, she has a standard 5-step banner where you get guaranteed soul shards on step 5. Meaning, if you want to guarantee her, it is very expensive. So if it's a unit you really want, and you're prepared to throw down the, like 65,000 gems to get the unit, good on you. You just might want to think about what you want to get. She has a very cool mechanic in that she can take damage for other units, being a shielder. She's the first, but definitely not the last unit to get this mechanic. Eventually, Vettel is going to have a job plus that does a similar thing, so it's a much more free-to-play friendly option for the same mechanic. But, I'm not going to say, like, don't go for her or that she's a bad unit. It just depends on what you're looking for. Then Mira has the same type of banner. I imagine most of the people that would have wanted her probably have her by now, but if you missed some of the other banners, then this is your chance. So I'd say both of those banners could be worth it depending on what your wants are. For the next two banners, they're also 5 steps for Genesis units, but the difference is these ones are the regular Enlightenment units, and their shards do appear in the shop. So I don't think these ones are worth it because they're split, so depending on who you're going for, you might get the other one. Better off just buying the shards from the shop. They'll show up once you own them in the bazaar as well, so it makes getting their shards easier because you're going to want to enlighten them because they need it more than the special enlightenment ones do. Then we have 2 very bad banners for the 2 god killers that we didn't get last week. Actually, I don't know if Lisanot is technically a god killer. I'm just going to call her a god killer because her enlightenment is the same as the god killers, so she's in their club now. Don't recommend that. We'll get to what I do recommend for them. And then another important thing to note is that normally when Genesis happens, we get a banner that gives you Genesis coins where you have a small but existent chance to get Genesis units from a pool. But now there are so many Genesis units that it's 2. So it's the same style of banner. If you do both of them, you could end up with 2,000 Genesis coins. It's just, and if you're only doing one of them, consider which pool is more valuable. I would say these are pretty good banners if you've got the gems for it, and if you've got Genesis units that you would really benefit from getting more shards by buying them with the coins. And then if you happen to get really lucky on it, that's also great. Or if you could be in a position like where I am, where I've mostly bought all of the shards for the units that I have / want, and they're getting more and more expensive. Hey, that's another Alchemist Code thing that just popped up on the notification. What were the chances? But yeah, so I'd say if you've got the gems, though, these could be worth it, depending on what your wants and needs are. And then we also have 2 more banners that could be worth it, depending on what you're going for. Because if you do want either Cassius or Lisanot, this is the best way to get them. It'll cost you about 20,500 gems if you use your discount ticket on step 1, but you can guarantee them. And you can also get potentially some other good units along the way because the other god killers are in the pool as well, and the dark princesses as well. So definitely a good banner if that's what you want to get. Because these, don't come around very often. It's the second time they've rerun, so if you have your eye on one of them, then I would take note of that. Next up, we have some memento banners. The first of which is a Genesis one that is a collection of mementos for the different characters, including Daphne's memento and Ambrosia's, Minario's, Mira's, Julia's. A lot of these are kind of old, or I don't know, not what I'd call required, or they're on characters who aren't like super meta defining. So I'd say you'd have to really want one of these, like just for your own reasons more than anything else. But if you saved up, if like you're all about Daphne and you saved up for her and you want to get her and you want to get her memento, then this banner would be good for you. But otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it too much. Then we have the mementos for Lisanot and Cassius, and if you do want to get them kitted out, I'd recommend it because it's a little bit cheaper than your usual 9-step. As far as I know, they don't need their memento as badly as, say, Tiferet does, but some people like to just get everything kitted out, so yeah, so that is it for the banners. Everything else is old from last week. Overall, I would say that there are some pretty good options depending on what you're looking for. If you want one of the 2 god killers, you can get them. If you want to just roll the dice on potential Genesis units while getting coins to get shards, there's a lot of good options. And if you don't want any of that, you can always just save your discount tickets and Maybe hold out for White Day, where Ankh and Reimei are getting mementos that are going to be limited. And then also the Dark Phantoms event is going to be rerunning soon, so you may want to consider that as well. But yeah, so that is it for the weekly update. Hope all of you who choose to summon have good luck, and I will see you all next time.